Yeah, it was. Hey guys, we're back again. Don't you just love it when you have technical difficulties?
We're gonna try this one more again.
Yeah, we're gonna try this one more again.
One more
So
again.
we're so sorry. If you're still out there, come on back in. Come on back in. We are here. We are here. We are here.
We are.
So Miss Iris,
Yes.
it's release day for you. How do you feel?
Confused right now. Uh, confused right now. But I'm feeling great. I'm sorry.
Hey
Computer just
Erica.
went black. It just went black. Okay, I think I got you now.
Okay.
It just went black on me. So
Well,
then I
as
tried to get it on the phone, and looked like I got it on the phone, and then both things just went. Psh.
yeah.
But guess what?
Um,
We're
yeah,
here now.
LaShawn, you that was on us, honey. You are, and thank you for coming on back in. We're glad to have you on back here. So
Yes.
hopefully some of the other ones will come on back in slowly, but we'll give we're gonna go ahead and get started. And hopefully they'll come back in. If not, then they can get a chance to see the replay. But again,
Okay.
Miss Iris Boland, how do you feel today? I mean, this is your third book in the Next Generation
I
series. We all
know.
waited a long time for this, and now it's here.
It is, and I am going to tell you, I so enjoyed writing Calvin's story for multiple reasons. For number one, I really do love Calvin and Leslie. I love the two of them together, but we're not going to get too much into the story.
Right,
Um,
right. But
um,
I do have some questions though about that, and not to go into the story too much. So
okay,
you and I, we have to make sure we control
we have
ourselves,
these
right?
problems.
Okay. So
I'm
long
going to
as we
warn you,
there.
Sharita is watching, so if we do anything out of, we're gonna be in trouble.
No, no. Listen, Sharita, I've already had this in-depth conversation with her, but I do have to give it to the people. The people they come here for those hard questions that they won't answer. But we've told them that we're going to be good with this. They're going to have to read the book, and then we can come back at another time and then really deep dive into it. But Iris, with just to spend a few minutes with Leopard,
Mm-hmm.
also known as Calvin Jr. One of the questions that I often thought of when I was reading this was, through the whole Heart series, we had Calvin Sr. in the book, and he was sort of like Calvin Jr. in the sense that they were that quiet storm.
Right.
They were the ones that was always making things happen, but they never got the accolades. They were just in there. So why did you make the decision to tell Calvin Jr.'s story before you told Calvin Sr.'s story?
Well, the thing about Calvin Sr. is Calvin Sr. was always that guy behind JD making everything work,
Mm-hmm.
right? And there was no need at that time to tell Calvin Sr.'s story,
Mm-hmm.
right? But when it comes to Calvin, Calvin's a little bit different than what his dad is, right? So Calvin is that one who will come in and he handle business.
Mm-hmm.
Calvin just handle business. Midnight, if you don't get those comments on my face, I'm gonna beat you up.
I got
Um,
people got to see their comments up here. And that ain't me putting them up over there by you. That's you over there doing something. Stay away from your mouse.
my hands right here. Well, where my hands at? My hands right here. I'm not touching anything. No. We already had that problem. We're not gonna do that again.
Right, right, right.
Right. But but no, Calvin Jr. is a little different. But we knew Calvin Jr. was going to be different because remember, Calvin Jr. was the first one of the 4 friends who decided what it was he wanted to do with his life. And remember, he was only 18, at that time, had just turned 18 at that time. And what he decided to do was really out of character for all of them, right?
Yeah.
So we knew Calvin was going to be different. We didn't know Calvin was going to be this different,
right.
But we knew Calvin was going to be different from his dad. And the whole time when I was writing Calvin's story, Calvin Sr.'s story, Calvin Sr. and Jackie's story kept coming to me. So you are going to get a secondary piece to this. You are going to get Calvin Sr.'s story. It may be in a short story version, like what we did with Martha, and what we did with Sally. So it may be in that way, but you are going to get Calvin and Jackie's story, and it's going to be a little different because Calvin and Jackie's story is going to be straight romance. There's not going to be any suspense really to it. It's gonna be straight romance because Calvin and Jackie is the epitome of romance. And when you read Leopard, you get the feeling of what I mean by that with Calvin and Jackie.
Yeah, you do get a little bit more of the parenting, and we haven't had that, but so that is good. Now, exactly. A couple of themes that ran true in Leopard's book. One was trust, which is a little bit different. Well, it wasn't really different from the rest of them, but it was just really at the forefront of there. And there are some scenes in there that really magnifies the whole trust issue in there. And then and then there was some passion in there. So out of those two themes, which one of them, now this is a 2-part question. So which one of them you thought needed to lead in the book, and also which one was more difficult to write as far as writing Leopard's story?
Well, Leopard's story was pretty easy to write, to be honest with you. The passion was not difficult at all. The one thing I told Sharita when I was talking about this is I said that the passion that's going on between Calvin and Leslie from the very beginning, right? And I think you do. I think we did that. I think we showed that passion. When Miss Prissy, I want to give Miss Prissy some kudos early on when she was putting the video together for me. I wanted a scene that showed that passion between Calvin and Leslie, and I think she did that. I think she really captured that in the video. So the passion wasn't difficult at all. Trust factors, we all go through trust factors. And Leslie really had a difficult time with trust, and but you know why?
Yeah.
You know why? It's very clear why. So between the two, and I think both of them, the passion between these two and the trust factors that they had to deal with, I think that came across very well in the story.
I'm going to pause you just for a little bit. We got my Auntie Eva in the audience there. Also an award-winning author as well. Thank you for joining us, Miss Eva. Miss Loretta is in the building. Thank you so much for joining us. Miss Ann, thank you so much for joining us from all the way from Belize. Love it. And then we also have Rhea in there. These are my Chicago Reading Circle co-hosts. And we also have my friend, Miss Cyrus, Mr. Cyrus Webb. Now,
listen, I got to hang out with Cyrus a little bit this weekend, and it was so great to see him. He was here in Virginia, and it was so good to see him. He give. Let me tell you guys, Cyrus give good hugs.
And Cyrus gives a lot of motivation and inspiration too, and we
That
all need
too.
that. So thank you for
That
that, for
too. Yes,
always
he
being on
does.
point with that. Thank
Um,
you for stopping by and joining us.
Thank you. Cyrus said that the video promotion is really great, and it is. And I
Oh,
want to make sure that people know that Miss Priss's company did that. KJR
yeah,
West.
yeah. That
Is the
video was
company.
everything.
It was everything, and it captured the essence of the story.
Right, and I would say if
Hey,
somebody caught
Loretta.
that, if somebody caught that video and you didn't know nothing about the story, you would
You
be
will
running
want
to
to see
that
the story.
story.
Right,
Yeah,
right, right.
yeah.
That is so true.
Yep. Back at you, back at you. But now, Iris, so when we got the Heart series, and you started with the Heart series, right?
Right.
So, your world building, let me just say this, your world building is absolutely amazing. That
Oh, thank you for
is
that.
is just kind of unmatched. But so you started with the Heart series, and then you
Right,
got all these dads and these moms of this next generation. And a lot of times, when you're reading, most of us who are series readers like that, we get the adults, and
right.
then the adults end, and then we're sad. But then you decided to carry on to the kids, and we love to see kids grow up, right? Because a lot of
Mhm.
them, we see them do these things, and we don't know where they're going to, but they grow up. And so you gave us this. But now with the Heart series, those characters stayed pretty much in the US. They rarely went out of the US, but although they dealt with some things that was
It was in
abroad,
other right,
they
right.
stayed on domestic soil. So now
True.
we get these young men and they growing up. And the first thing you do before you even tell their story is you send them abroad,
Yes,
right? So
yes.
what's the significance in that?
Because I wanted to show how this next generation it expands. They're not they're not contained in a little container called the United States, right? And it's kind of matches up with how where our different generations that's coming up right now. They're not contained the way that we were. When we were growing up, we had okay, I'm going to tell my age. We didn't have cell phones. We had the house phone,
Mm-hmm.
right? We weren't hopping on a train and going here and there and getting on a plane at 15 or 16 or 17. Girl, we wouldn't even think about things like that. We was contained to our neighborhoods. We was contained to just you know certain things. Whereas this generation, they are meeting people all over the world and they haven't even left their home.
Mm-hmm.
you know and it also shows us how big the world is. The world is not just our little bubble over here in the United States. We have to expand because things that happen in other countries do impact us here in the United States as well. So these young men wanted to get an idea of what else was out there, so that when they get to a point where they feel like that they're going to be the generation that's going to be running the country or handling things, they have a little wider span of knowledge to deal with or to work with.
So let's go back to like the last few books of the Heart series, right? So we got one that comes to mind is a conversation that JC has with JD.
Yes.
Um,
JD is JC's father, for those who
yeah.
who do not know. Yeah.
uh, and then so he sees up close and personal what his dad is going through.
Yes.
They're going through all of the changes with the country and the sabotage and all of that, and then his decision to want to take a trip abroad. In your mind, when you wrote that particular scene, what were you thinking? Were you thinking this was going to be the cusp of what the next generation was going to be? Or were you just throwing something out there and you said, oh, I'm going to make it happen?
No. Midnight, you know better.
Well, I'm
You
just
know,
asking.
I can write a sentence. When I put a sentence in a story, already know that that sentence is connected to something else. And when I did that scene with JC talking with his father, I knew that that was the beginning
Okay.
of the next generation.
Right.
I knew that's what that was. So no, that wasn't just a conversation. It was it was the lead. It was the teaser to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the next thing. Was JC growing up,
Yep.
um and going out into the world to learn things on his own, not just what people tell him,
Mm-hmm.
but to learn about other countries and our enemies as well as our allies that were in other countries as well.
And we're still, and for those of us who are following this series, we're still waiting to see what that big picture looks like with them. But there was another conversation that was in the Heart series way back, was when all four of the boys came together and they made that pack over M&Ms.
When they were just, I mean, JC's legs didn't even reach down to the floor when they were sitting there having that conversation. And James Jr., that was when Elliot came into their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And those four young men, Calvin, JC, have been friends from the crib.
Mm-hmm.
They've been friends from the crib. We know James Jr. came in through Ashley marrying James Brooks, right? And then we had Elliot, who came in, even though he's older, but he came in because Brian found his son,
Right.
years later.
Mm-hmm.
So to that throughout their lives.
Yeah.
Throughout their lives.
So Ms. Prissy
Yeah.
asked what a question which I was going to get to, but we're gonna, since you asked it, we're gonna talk about it now. What makes Calvin so different from the rest of them?
Calvin has always been that one that always did his own thing. He was them. He's with them, and he's a part of them. But Calvin has always been very independent. He's always stood up. He has no qualms or no questions about what it is that he wants to do or what direction he wants to go in. He go do it. And then he would tell the guys, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm not going to say that he's not a follower. He's a leader, but he's a quiet leader, just like his father was.
Mm-hmm.
He's a quiet leader. And the other thing that's different that comes out in the story is, all of the guys, all of his friends, they come from money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, James Brooks, the Brooks family, they old money, old money. Then you have Elliot, which we know that Elliot inherited, and Alan and big money, big money. And then you have JC, who's JC's parents, where he has money and name. He have money and name recognition, because of his parents. Whereas with Calvin Jr., Calvin comes from his dad, who is an attorney general, who was not an attorney, he's an attorney, and his mom, who works at home on computer. So he comes from the everyday life, what we call it, the everyday normal life. He doesn't have that money. He has to work for a living. His parents have to work for a living. Now they're well off. They're not, like some of us going from paycheck to paycheck, but they do have to work for a living. And some of that comes up in the story as far as where his position is with the group.
Yeah.
But he's very clear on who he is and what his role is with the group. What he don't understand is how much those three guys look up to him
Mm-hmm.
because of, the way that he carries himself, and he makes his own decisions, and he just go with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just goes with it. Just like he back in the Heart series, remember he created the communication
Yeah.
software
Mm-hmm.
for all of them to be able to communicate with each other instead of being out there on social media, because of their whose children they are. They couldn't speak freely on things. He created all of that on his own. He didn't ask any questions if it was needed or anything like that. He just
Yeah.
did.
And I think what's interesting too is you brought up that, he comes from like we could perceive normal family. But what's
Right.
interesting is that all of those guys, whether they come from money or not, they all know that they have to work. You could not tell them that that they didn't have to work. They
Even
don't
James
know
Jr.
anything else but work.
Footwork. Even
Yeah.
James Jr.
Right.
Who is always, you
Hmm.
know, their family is old school wealth. You know,
Yeah.
even with him, it never dawned on him, because everybody in his families do work.
Yeah.
They do work, and they start with a good fortune, but they know that if they want to keep it
Right.
that
You
way,
gotta keep your height. You gotta keep
they
it
have to
right.
they have to work. So that is a good thing with them. And then with Elliot, Elliot had his inheritance when he was 11 years old. But he didn't know all of the details, right? He just knew, he had money. But it never dawned on him that he didn't have to become an FBI agent. He didn't have to work.
Yeah.
It never dawned on him
Right.
that he didn't have to work. And JC, that's a whole nother thing. It was
Yeah.
He always knew, this is what I'm going to do. I'm gonna
Hmm.
work at doing this and this and this and this and this. You
Yeah, and
know,
I think their connections are pretty cool too.
yeah,
The way
they
they
are.
just kind of mesh with one another's, they strengths, their weaknesses. But we're gonna take Erica's question. You guys are like right in line with what I need. Hey, I love it. So, what was your favorite part to write about the in the of the book to write?
You know, I know y'all want me to say is when we get to kill people, when I get to kill people, but in this particular story, that was not my favorite part. My favorite part in this story was really the banter between Leslie and Calvin. Um, I love the banter between Leslie and Hammer. I love the banter between Leslie and Calvin, and the banner between Leslie and Leopard. It was like she did not skip a beat. And this is the first time in the story where I actually got to write a girlfriend. Most of my women are on their own, they doing their own thing or whatever. Well, this time Leslie's a little different. Leslie got a close girlfriend.
Mhm.
And they talk like girlfriends talk, you know, like
and
girlfriends
she
talk.
and she fits right in with the rest of the group too.
She
I can see her. To me, she reminded me a little bit of Jazzy, Samantha, Sasha. All of them together. So
yeah.
she's a really a cool secondary character, if you will, for her.
Yeah, she is. Are you talking about Tia, or you talking about Leslie?
Tia.
Yeah, I cannot wait for you guys to fully meet Tia. You are going to be pleasantly surprised, because I'm doing JC's book now. You
Okay,
know,
so what part of the what part surprised you most about when you were writing? What surprised you most? And did you learn anything? Just a bit to that. Did you learn anything about yourself as you were writing this?
um, I would tell you there's two things. The two things I would answer on that one. I did learn a lot about AI, because AI comes up in this story. I learned a lot about AI, and good and bad.
Mhm.
Good and bad. I learned a lot about that. Um, The other thing that I would say I took away from this story is um I do miss writing um romance.
Mm.
I love taking people out. I love suspense. I really do. But I so enjoyed Calvin Calvin and Leslie in this story because I really love how you see them developing how the relationship is developing between the two of them.
Mhm.
Um, I really love that. So, but I would tell you, when you're writing a story that is talking about the complexities of our country, of our politicians, of the things that's happening in the world today, because that's what's in this book. Um, you have a tendency to want to just shut it all out because it's so much. It's so much happening. But what we learned is that we can't shut it out. We have
Yeah.
to we have to pay attention to things that's going on, and it's because these young men paid attention to what was going on, with the family, with everything that JD, the president, and the first lady was going through, or things that was happening in their lives. They started paying attention, and they started paying attention at an early age. And what we're going to learn throughout the next generation is that all of the kids did.
Hmm.
Right now we're doing the young men, but we're going to be doing the ladies, the young girls later. But all of these kids paid attention, and we should be very happy that they did.
Hmm. Well, they almost had no choice because it was embedded in
They
their
grew
DNA,
up with it.
right?
Yeah,
So it didn't matter which house they was going to as kids. They was getting the same vibe all the
that's
way through.
true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Um, but yeah. So yeah, with she says, thank you for giving us the wonderful background view of Calvin Senior and
And
Jackie.
Jackie's story.
Yeah, they made you what she wrote in the book. And again, we're not going to dive into it, but what she wrote in the book did make you want to know a little bit about them.
Yeah.
They were different, but they weren't. You know what I'm saying? So, and you could kind of tell from Calvin, even with his relationship with other guys, and you could tell that it was a little bit different. Like I said, I keep saying that Calvin was like his father, but he wasn't. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? I think it was more intense than Calvin Sr. was, Calvin Jr.
It
was.
was Calvin. Calvin. Okay, I'll be bad a little bit. Sharita, don't get mad at me.
Y'all, listen, I
Calvin,
had no,
Calvin, Calvin, Jr. would not have been in the situation that Calvin Sr. was in. He would have gotten out of there, and he would have walked in that room, and he would have had some conversation for Douglas and Brian.
mm,
That's all I'm going to say about that situation. Yeah, if you want to talk about one of my really favorite parts in the book, that was one. It was small, it was short, it was going back to the old school guys, but I really enjoyed writing that for Calvin Sr.
yeah, yeah. We always, I mean, for me, I always liked Calvin Sr. But I just know that he didn't get all of the spotlight. But when he did, it was something. He made a difference whenever he spoke. I can go back in the Hard series and pick out a number of scenes where Calvin just kind of cracked me up.
The one that came to mind immediately when you said that was when Calvin told JD he was wrong with the situation. Remember
Yep,
that,
yep.
and he told JD about himself.
Right, right.
That's what came to mind as soon as you said that. Is that one?
Right.
Yeah.
So if you all are just joining us, we are doing a release day celebration with Miss Iris Bolling. For her new release is the third book in the Next Generation series, which is Leopard. But if you are new to Iris Bolling and you're just starting with this series, Panther was the very first one. And we're talking about the four young men who made a pact to be brothers in spirit over a bowl of M&Ms, which I think is so cool. But anyway, all three books are out right now, so you can grab them and get into the story. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. Here's Jaguar. And they have, and this is going to segue me into Iris. Now, I don't think this is telling too much, but these guys, when they decided to take a voyage, across the country, because of the nature of who they are, they couldn't just grab a passport and just go. Things had to be planned. They had to go through training so that they knew how to protect themselves.
And we're gonna say thank you for that, because
they needed it. But now we didn't have what we call code names in the Heart series. Everybody was called by their names. Why did you decide to give them code names, and what's the significance of the cats?
They had to receive code names. If you deal with Secret Service, everyone has code names with Secret Service, especially at that level. And JD had code name. Tracy had a code name. All of them had a code name. And if they had been out of the country, you would have known what those names were.
Okay.
Those code names were. But remember, the folks in the Heart series was never really out of the country. Yeah. I mean, they were, but not a significant amount of time where we had to develop things. I had to develop code names or anything for them. And then the other thing about that is code names change. They may have been this, at this time, but when they go to visit again, or they go somewhere else, the code name could change at any time. But the first family was not taking this trip. These guys were, but because they were the children of important top level American dignitaries, they had to be protected in a certain way. And so when they went overseas, they didn't want them to be called by their names. So they came up with code names, and the code names was actually given to them through the people who trained them. And as you read through the book, you learn a little bit about the folks who trained them as well. And you've already met them. You met them in Earthquake, in Luke's book, and Sasha's book. So you have met the people who trained these young men when they went overseas. And the thing about it is, Calvin was a part of the organization that prepared them to go overseas. He just didn't know it at the time. He was putting things together for them. So, but these four young men, you're going to see they are remarkable young men, especially for their age. And we may not see it, but we have people like this all over this country. We just don't get to hear too much about them because we're always dealing with, the negative part of things, so, but one of the things I like to do in my stories is I do like to show our young, intelligent, young people when I write my stories. I don't want them to, they're going to do silly things because they are young. They're going to make mistakes because they are young, but they are by no means stupid.
Yeah, but I think with these young men, and I think I probably will see with the young ladies too when they're coming up, I think because of who they were, if at all, they had no room for error. And if it was any, it was a very small margin, because I remember like in some of the other books when they were out, like just to go to like a club
or something,
dinner or whatever.
Yeah.
Like when JC had the altercation with the guy, like they are programmed to come right in, like and that's second nature to them, even with or without the Secret Service.
And they're gonna protect each other. They're gonna make sure that you remember when that altercation took place. Remember how they circled him so that no one on the outside could really see what was happening at that particular time. They protect each other. They truly understood their position, and they also understood how things that they do would impact their parents. And it could create, if JC had went out and beat somebody up, can you imagine what that would have done to the president? It would have been news cycles all over the place. The president's son is gone crazy. He's gone berserk and blah, 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 blah. It would have been a lot of negative stories out there.
Yeah. And I think it was the same situation with Leslie too, in how she was carrying on. I mean, somebody had to pull, her slacks a little bit to remind her of, who she was connected to.
Yes. And I want to say to Cheryl's comment that she made, it was young people that brought the civil rights movement together. They were young, and that's what I think is going to take for what we're going through right now too. I think it's going to be our younger generation that is going to step up and get to a point where they say we don't give a damn. We're not going to live this way, so. In these stories, in the next generation with these 4 young men, you see that fire in our youth, that they're not putting up with no crap.
Yeah, truly that. So I have, guys, I'm gonna break right here. I'm gonna have a little bit of fun with Iris. Okay, something I haven't done before, but I might do it again. But we'll see. Okay. Uh-oh. So Iris, nothing you have to be worried about. I'm gonna do a little bit of next generation confessions, rapid fire. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So a few questions. Okay. And without overthinking, you're just gonna tell me what they are. Okay. All right. Dangerous. Who is the group chat troublemaker? James, Elliot, Calvin, or JC?
Elliot.
Of course.
Elliot.
Which couple in the series would absolutely break the internet if it were a reality show together?
Probably. Well, you can break the internet in different ways. So in a certain way, I would say it would be Elliot and Callie, but in a sexual, wherever we are, let it flow. That's Calvin and Leslie.
Okay, I can agree with that. If Leopard was a soundtrack vibe, what would it be? Would it be stealthy, explosive, slow burn, or seductive?
Seductive. The soundtrack, the playlist that I put together for Leslie and Calvin, it is smooth seduction. Even if you listen to this song that John the Saint wrote for Jason, is the singer in this one. Even if you listen to that song, that'll give you that neo soul smooth rhythm feel to it. That's what you're gonna get with.
And that video complements that too. So you see it and hear it with that. So I agree with that. If you had to describe,
you don't have to play the video for the people.
I know, but you bring it in there. I didn't bring it in here.
You didn't bring it in? Okay, well, go ahead. Do what you're doing. I'm going to see if I can bring it in without breaking anything.
Maybe I'll try. Don't touch nothing. If you had to describe panther, jaguar, or leopard in one word, what would they be?
A brotherhood.
Okay. I like that.
A brotherhood. A brotherhood for sure.
All right. And to the listening audience, I'm going to give you guys two of those questions, and then you guys put your comments in the put your answers in the comments section. So this one is easy. I want to see, everybody's probably going to have the same one, but this is the funniest one to me. Who in the group chat would the troublemaker be between James, Elliot, Calvin, and JC?
They know the truth to that.
I know, but I'm just going to see if everybody's going to think the same thing I said. And then if you've read all the books, what's one behind the scene fact or fun tidbit about Leopard? I'm sorry. Yeah. What fun? I didn't ask you this one, Iris. What's one behind the scenes fun fact tidbit about Leopard that readers didn't know yet, but they should?
The one tidbit I would give you is that a lot of people think to really know what was happening in Leopard, you should go back and read Panther and Jaguar. Okay. No, you should really go back and read News with Curves, Convergence, and Sims, because we have some surprise people that show up in Leopard. And if you have read those stories, then you're going to be up on everything. Yeah, you do need to know what was happening in Panther and Jaguar. But one thing I would tell you guys about this series also is each one of the stories are different.
Yeah.
They say Elliot. All of them say Elliot.
Yeah.
Midnight, they say Elliot.
Yeah, always. I knew there would be that, but I just wanted to know. So I'm gonna ask you guys your second question. Which couple in the series would absolutely break the internet if they were a reality show together?
I did answer.
You did that one, but I want to know what they're gonna think.
Oh, you're gonna see what they say. The ones that have read the story so far.
Yeah.
Listen, someone is asking, what is Jackie's occupation?
Okay. Go ahead and give that answer, Miss Iris.
They can read the book. The book, I think you would be surprised at what it is that Jackie does.
Yeah, I think because we know so little about her, for sure. I agree with LaShawn, Elliot and Callie for me too. It was Elliot and Callie for me.
Yeah.
But more if it was more slow burn, then I would say Leopard and Leslie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I would tell you, in each one of the stories, each of these couples are very different. They're different in how they came to be. Their feel is so different. But when these ladies get together, which they will in JC's book, you're going to see that these ladies are going to click just like Tracy and Ashley and Ross and Cynthia did. These ladies are going to kick. They're going to click in the same way.
Yeah, I guys, I am trying to pull up the, I want you guys to see the video. If you guys haven't seen the video already, I'm going into
YouTube. Can you play it from YouTube?
Yeah, I should be able to. Is it out there up on the YouTube?
Yes, YouTube on my page.
Okay, so let's pull that up, and then we're gonna bring it in to show you guys, because I think, oh my gosh, this video is just absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm. I started to just pull it up, but you know how my computer has been tonight, so
yeah,
I said I'm not going to try it.
Yeah, no, that's okay. And even if we don't, we'll put it in the chat. Even if we don't get it tonight, just
I hope we can get it, because I really want people to see Miss Prissy's work. You know, I know I'm giving it all to Miss Prissy, and I know John has something to do with it too.
Yeah.
You know? But I'm just so proud of what she did with this. And I wish we could upload the video. I thought it was a way we could upload the video on here, Midnight.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna try to see. I mean, I have pulled it up on YouTube, but I
don't want us to lose.
Yeah, I don't want to lose anything, but
Right.
let's see. You know what I'm going to do, guys? I'm going to put the link in here, and then you can just kind of see it at the leisure, because I don't know if I can download it and then bring it up in here. But I did put the link up there for you guys to go and see it later. Kara was thinking James and Zaza. And
Oh,
so was
really?
Miss Antoinette was thinking James and Zsa Zsa are outspoken regarding the intimacy. Well, that was more Zsa Zsa than it was James. Those two would surprise folks. Let me see which one. Wait. Oh, wait. Is it?
Wait,
Did you get it up there?
I think so, but I have no
Okay,
idea
here.
where it's at.
Okay, can we put it up there? There we
There
go.
it is.
When I saw you, you had me,
And
baby.
that is the young man that is actually on the cover of the book.
Yep.
Had my heart.
Yeah.
I'll give you everything, and just to be with you in your arms.
If you cross this line, there is no
Take
turning
me
back.
with you.
She like, okay.
I'm your slave, baby.
She don't have no problem with that.
You had me from my head
I want that
to
and more.
my toe, baby.
I'm taking you to the stars and beyond.
All right, take me, honey.
Mhm.
Just be with you. I want your love. I want your soul. I want everything. Everything that goes.
Well,
Yeah.
there we go. Now, Midnight, how you get it off of there?
Here we go. We always get ourselves in some kind of jam.
We do. We do. Did you take it off the stage? There you go. There we go.
So, guys, I hope you guys like that.
Yeah, I really want to give KJ West a lot of props for that. And I know Miss Prissy is laying me out, because as soon as she did it, I mean, before we finished the final version and everything, I said I want this for every book, every one of the Next Generation books. Now she's gonna have to go in and she's gonna have to do one for JC and Tia, who is coming up. She's gonna have to do one for Zsa Zsa and James, and one for Elliot and Callie, because I was really so proud of what she did. So I just wanted to give her and the Saint. That song is going to be coming out on the Saints next streaming. I'm told it's not CDs anymore. It's now streaming. So we have gone from, here's a great thing about this book too. Remember with Jackie and Calvin, they played albums. They actually had the vinyl and the old-fashioned record player where they played their music. And now we're coming all the way through that from the CD, so from the tapes, cassette tapes to CDs, and now we're into streaming, but the Saint Music is going to be putting out their new singer Jason at some point, and that's who did this song. So I just wanted to give them their credit and everything. It was a great promotion. I have to agree with Cyrus. It was a great way to promote this particular book. And that scene is directly out of the book. That Miss Prissy took that scene and brought it to life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just, and it was so real too. Like, that's why I say, if you didn't read the book and you saw the video, you would be running to get the book so that you can see what happened.
Yeah.
Cheryl says she missed buying CDs though. Yeah, they used there. Yeah. I mean, you can probably still make them. and have
But
them
the
for
thing
your
is, you know
collection.
how you used to have these things in your car. First, you had the cassette player, then you had the CD player. Now you don't have anything.
Now you got Series SX or
SF or
some kind
whatever.
of Pandora or something like that.
Right.
Um, so Iris, just to because we're almost coming up to our time. We know we don't want you to give too much away, but we know JC is next, and we anticipate. What do you want the readers to anticipate for JC without giving anything away?
Well, the main thing to know about JC is JC has grown up in the eyes of the world because he's the president's son.
Mm-hmm.
So his story is going to take on a totally different feel from the other three that are out there now, because JC is going to he's so out there, and all of the things that he's done in his life, all the way back to David Holt.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he is coming back to haunt us again. All the way back to David Holt.
I don't know if I like that, but okay. I'm sure you're gonna set us up for this, but okay.
Yes,
Let the dead be the dead, and
all those things are going to come back to light. Everything that really went on in JC's life. Remember, JC was the child that was shot on stage when JD accepted when he won the night that he won the presidency.
Mm-hmm.
So not only that, it's going to be interesting to see how Tracy lets her baby boy become a man.
We've already seen some remnants of that already.
Yes.
Throughout him growing up, we've seen that.
Yes. And you're actually going to be, I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised to see the closeness between JC and Jazzy.
Yeah, I think so too. And now you mentioned earlier, and again, I definitely do not want to give anything away, but I just want to ask the question. You mentioned something about the girls. So after JC's book, the next generation is continuing.
Yes, the next generation, phase 2 is going to be the girls.
Okay.
So right now we're doing all the boys, because remember the boys were older.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The boys were older. So, but you are going to see the girls in the next generation as well. But that will be phase 2 of that series.
Okay. Yeah. And so what, we know JC is coming to anything. So we know the next generation series is what we're here to highlight, but what else is going on in the world of Iris Bolling?
We had too much. We are this year we are celebrating my 50th book. Okay. And the 50th book is going to be Lion, which is fitting because I started on the Heart series, and my 50th book is going to be on the Heart series, the next generation, as well. So JC is going to be my 50th book, and we're going to be celebrating that here in Richmond, in December. And you can go to my website and get the information on that. And we will soon be putting up the registration form for those people who are going to be interested in coming to Richmond and hanging out with us for a few days, because we have things planned for four different days. So you don't want to miss out on that. I'm really excited about it. With all of the planning and everything is taking place now, so that is going on. We also have coming up. We got another Nate Raines book that is going to be coming your way. We have another Sibs book, which I'm really excited about that, because that plays into what's happening with the next generation. So we get It's All Relative. It's the next Sibs book. So we got a Nate Raines book coming, and we have It's All Relative, which is a Sibs book that is coming as well. And then some kind of way, I'm trying to get back to the Lassiters of Connecticut. You know,
Oh yeah,
to get into Jesse James Sr. And what we're gonna do for him.
Okay.
At an older age, and everything. And let's see, we had a podcast that we're doing. Well, there you go. Where we actually this season we are actually talking about some everyday things connected with books, but we're still talking about books too. We talk about some things in life.
Yeah.
Right there. So that's going to be coming up as well. And I'm still trying to get some more audiobooks done.
Okay.
So we're trying to work on that as well. So we have quite a big this is going to be a busy year. We're going to put together some box sets that's going to be coming out to folks. So I'm excited about that as well. We got quite a bit happening.
Yeah. So before we leave, guys, if there's any questions for Iris, put them in the chat so that we can try to get them answered before she goes away. But here's one. Cheryl wants to know if there are any more Brooks family books coming.
Let me say this. I don't think there's any more Brooks family books, but the cousins are coming.
We love those cousins. Oh my God, we love those
cousins on both sides. Those books are coming. So we have Jason's cousins and we have Taylor's
cousins. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Lord help us. And poor Vernon. But also, guys, I haven't figured it all out yet. But the cousins are a part of Law. So you're gonna be seeing the Brooks. Because Law is James company, Legacy and Wealth. So that we're going to be getting some stories on them, which all of the cousins, he made all of the cousins a part of that organization as well. So you're gonna get some of them too.
Right. And then Miss Cara wants to know about the Dunnings.
Of course.
I do too.
She did.
I can see something. Look, I'm gonna tell you, like I'm gonna tell them, like I always say to you, I see some potential there.
I see some potential there. I'm gonna say that. I do see some potential there, but I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea when I'm gonna be able to get back to the Dunnings because I do have some mysteries that's coming that I will be doing. And then I have a special project that's near and dear to my heart that is I'm doing with two people that I love dearly, but they're slow. They're doing the slow roll on the stories.
Come on. Okay, so Sarah wants to know if we're going to have some.
Don't be trying to change. Don't be trying to change it.
Tyrone Pendleton, is there anything coming for him?
We do have Ty's mother.
Okay, so because we still haven't got Sly's book yet.
Yeah, Sly's book is still out there. So yeah, we have that story with Ty's mother because you guys really need to know why she disappeared out of his life, or did she disappear out of his life? That's another question too. So, and we all, I know I want to see how Kiki is going to handle all of this. You know? And I think Kiki is pregnant again.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I think Kiki is pregnant because we know if you guys got the new versions of the Night of Seduction and the Pendleton Rule, there was bonus stories put in both of those. So we know that Siri is pregnant again. I don't think you guys know that in my mind, you know, all these people still live in my life. They still live in my head. So Kiki is pregnant again.
Well, okay, Miss Iris Bolling, thank you so much for taking us into a deep dive into the Next Generation series. And thank you for for not misbehaving, so
You're
that
welcome.
they will let you come back again. But I am loving, and I'm pretty sure from the audience, we're all loving the next generations. I think we love all of your series. I said, but this one right here is just giving us like a whole different vibe, and we're loving it.
Okay, you get ready to get in trouble because Miss Prissy said that she put a question in there and she want to know if you saw it because you get ready to leave and you didn't ask her question.
I did ask a question about she asked about the Dunnings.
Oh, maybe
I asked about the
another question, but we saw the Dunnings one. We answered that, Miss Prissy, if that's what you fussing about. She always fussing at us about something.
Well, if it's there, we have to, I don't see it like here. I saw the Dunnings one for that, and I did ask that question.
Well, while you're searching for that, let me tell people about this. If any of you are out there and you have Hoopla, or if you know what Hoopla are, she said no, it's the one before that, Midnight. You in trouble. If you are in Hoopla, please go out of Hoopla and get the audiobooks. We have a series. We have all of the wedding series audiobooks are out there, and so is Mr. Take Me As I Am and the Pendleton. Is the Pendleton Rule out there? I think the Pendleton Rule is on Audible.
Yeah, it was. That one was one of the first ones you had.
Yeah, that's one of the first ones. But if you all have Hoopla, or Hoopla is connected to your library system, so it's not going to cost you anything. But go out there and please enjoy the audiobooks that's out there, so that people, they would see, okay, somebody out here want to hear Iris audiobooks, because we're trying to get more done for you. So if you would do that, I would appreciate it. If you would go to audiobooks, notice I didn't say Audible, I said audiobooks.
Okay.
And
there's a difference.
There's a difference. And if you would go out there and listen to one or two of the audiobooks out there, I would appreciate you doing that.
Yeah. And also, Iris, take a few minutes and tell everyone who may not know about your app.
Girl.
See?
You got my heart. You got my back.
I got my kudos back. I was taken.
You got them back. If anyone was out there wondering why they didn't see me on Facebook or different social media posts as much as I was at one time, it's because I now have my own app, and it's the Iris Bolling Book Palace app. And you can join it. It's free to join. If you want to get in one or two of the paid, I have 3 paid tiers. If you want to get in there, each one of those tiers gets something different. If you want to do the inner circle, if you join the inner circle tier, you actually get all my releases for free. And you get them ahead of time. So that's the paid tier. That's one of the paid tier. That's the highest one. And then you have a tier where it's the collaborators tier, where we go out there and we write stories together. We do lines and we do writing. We write stories together. I really enjoy doing that. I want to get out there and do that again with them. And then we have the reader circle. And in the reader circle, we do lives. We go out there and I make sure that we do lives with the reader circle. So if you guys want to stay up with what is happening with me, you can go to the book app, join the Iris Bolling book app, and we can put the link out here so you guys would know how to get to it. Also, my website, please go check out irisbolling.com. And for those who are looking to start getting into writing or the self-publishing business, or just want some guidance on how to start a business for yourself, on my Siri Austin website, I have workshops. I'm beginning to do workshops and webinars that will help you do that. So please, when you get a chance, go check those out as well.
Okay. All right. And then
I want you to notice how well I behaved myself.
Yeah, you did. You did indeed. And then Miss Antoinette wants to know how is so apparently what she's saying is she needs another book because she wants to know how Kiki is handling motherhood. And here is, oh, hey there. Let me just say, hey, Cuzzo, what's going on? Thanks for coming out and joining me. Okay,
Who's
and
that?
then
I can't see who that was. Who was
that
that?
was Carolyn, Miss Carolyn.
Oh, hey, Carolyn.
Uh, now here's Miss Prissy. Iris, how do you keep your stories connected to what's going on today, and how she keeps her writing with what's going on with the country in the future?
Well,
That's probably an exhausting answer because there's always something going on.
it is always something going on. But what I try to do is try to take that one thing I think is more relevant than what others are, because you can't write about everything that's going on out there, right? Because it's craziness. But I do try to pick that one thing that's relevant. And one of the things that we're talking about is AI right now, and how AI is going to impact us in the future. We're also talking about data centers. I'm not sure if people really understand what data centers are. And so we are going to be tackling that in the next one. And I know people are not going to remember this, but all of this stuff that is happening right now with the races and the trying to deport people and things of that nature, or take control of our lives. We actually wrote about that back in News with Curves. We wrote about it in News with Curves. We talked about it in Hearts United. And now all of these things, we're hearing about them, and these not hearing about them, they are actually happening. They're actually happening. And so I try to stay up on what's happening out here in this world. I was going to say country, but it's not just about the country anymore. It's the world.
It's interconnected.
About things that's going up in the world, and I try to incorporate some of those things in my writings. A thing that a lot of people are not paying a lot of attention to is land ownership, and how land is over the centuries have been taken from some of our families, from some of our ancestors, and how that has impacted the generation that's coming up now, and how important those things are. So I try to take things that I think are relative to what it is that we're going through right now, and try to make sure that we at least have a little bit of information on it. I don't want to go too deep into all the negative parts of it, because I think whenever somebody creates something, it can be used for good or it can be used for bad. We just need to determine which way we're going to use it. So in my stories, I try to show that, and I try to show, hopefully, if we use it for good, how it can really benefit the country and how it can benefit us as a people. So it's a difficult question to answer completely, Miss Prissy, but it is one of those things where I just try to stay on top of what's happening in our country for real, and try to share them in my stories in some kind of way, and hopefully look a little bit into the future. I know people say, Iris, you be looking into the future. No, I really don't have no magic ball or nothing like that. Just a little bit of common sense that I see where things could go, and I put them in the story.
Well, hello there, Miss Pam. Thanks for joining us. Well, we really want to take a moment to celebrate you. So, guys, drop some hearts in there for Miss Iris and tell her happy release day. We look forward to everything you have coming up next, and we hope that in some way we can give you your flowers. This is one way we can give you your flowers now with each release. Also, today was Happy Content Creator Day. I just found that out. I didn't know, so I want to say thank you to all of those that are in that realm, including myself. We love supporting all of our authors and the stories, because it's not easy. I say this all the time. It is not easy to come before us, y'all. We a mess. So we want to thank you all for warring with us and coming out here before us and sharing your lives with us. We thank you. So we got Cheryl's giving you some love. We got Miss Erica, Miss Velva. Hey there, Miss Sharon. I didn't see you out there. You snuck in there. How are you?
Out there.
And Miss Patricia, thank you for joining us. And then, of course, we got Miss Antoinette. So, guys, if you have not gotten this book, right now it's exclusively on Miss Iris's website, www.
Let me answer this question because I get asked this question all the time. So let me answer it. Yes, it will be on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, Apple, Kobo, all other retailers. But for right now, it is on irisbolling.com. When I put it on the other retailers, the print books will be available as well. And for those who don't know, Barnes & Nobles now carry my books on their website, on their site. So if you go to Barnes & Nobles, all of the Next Generation books are out there for print, and you can actually purchase them through them, not just my website. So you can get them from there as well. So as soon as you see that there is a pre-order date out there for Amazon and the other retailers, the paperbacks will be ready at that time as well. Okay.
And do you have a date when that will happen, or?
No, but I'm sure Sharita's going to tell me.
Okay. All right. So you all stay tuned for that. Again, if you guys really want to know all things happening with Iris Bolling, just tap into www.irisbolling.com. That'll tell you when the releases are coming. You can purchase your books from there and just learn about all things Iris Bolling. Also, she mentioned Siri Austin. We all know about Siri Austin, but now it has a full-blown landmark. It is www.siriaustenentertainment.com. And so check that out. Go out there and explore.
I've been working, y'all. I've been working.
Yes, she has. And it's been a long time in coming. So kudos to you for Miss Iris for getting that up.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Congratulations, Miss Pam, that you have yours. I know you're going to enjoy it. There's no hope to it. This book was really a page turner. I thought I was going to skim through it when I read it, but it was just like, it just took me away from everything. I don't like having those books sometimes because I'd be really busy. Like I'd be trying to read it at work and then, you know. But anyway, and that's what was. So anyway, thank you guys all for joining us. And if you have not already, please make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can, get the notification when we go live. I know a lot of people always tell me that they don't get it. So just make sure that you subscribe, hit the notification bell so that when I do go live, it'll notify you. And just stay tuned for whatever is next.
And Midnight, I just want to say thank you so much for having me on your show tonight.
Always. It is my pleasure always to have you out here. Hey there, Miss Martha. Hey.
Hey, Martha.
How are you? And if you guys are in the app, I saw earlier today, I don't get out there on the app much, but as much as I should. But I saw that she put like a crossword puzzle out there. So for those of you all who are on the app, and for those of you all who will join the app, she's got some little activities out there for you. So she's always doing something fun.
Martha is always, she does does one of those for every book. She actually has a page of nothing but Iris Bolling. She has puzzles and word games that she does. So I want to thank Martha for doing that too.
Yep. So you all go out there and have some fun, right? Yeah. So until next time, we will see you all soon. All right. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.